Welcome to The Real World. My name is Cameron. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 73 of The Real World podcast. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're creating our very own Christmas movie marathon list. Thank you for joining us here on The Real World. My name is Cameron. If you're returning, we really appreciate your support. Make sure you share the video with your friends. If you're new, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified of all our videos. We're all about movies here. Today, we're talking about our favorite Christmas movies. We're actually going to create an entire list of Christmas movies to watch during the month of December. Should be a lot of fun. But let's get things kicked off as we usually do with some movie news. Alien Romulus is the next Alien movie. It has officially been titled, and we now know where the film will take place in the timeline of the Alien franchise. It will take place between the events of the original 1979 Alien movie and its sequel, Aliens, from 1986. So it's a great place to set the film. I think there's a lot going on in this timeline. It's getting very messy, especially with all the prequels and the sequels and all that stuff. It's just getting to be too much. The film star Cailee Spaeny confirmed this in an interview with Variety. So I'm very excited to see what the film looks like, if it's more horror-esque, which I'm expecting, if it leans maybe more into the action of Aliens, I'm not sure. So we'll just have to wait and see. That movie should be released in the next year. Zack Snyder confirmed in an interview recently with The Hollywood Reporter that he would return to DC to film a movie as long as it is based on Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. He told the outlet, he called to congratulate James Gunn on his new role as president of DC Films, and he told the director and writer that he would come back as long as it's an adaptation of The Dark Knight Returns, which is, of course, one of his favorite comics. He paid homage to it in Batman v Superman and in his other films. It's a very inspirational work for him, and so definitely looking forward to whether or not we see it. Time will tell, but I would be first in line to see that. Tim Allen confirms he has been approached by Disney and Pixar to return as Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 5. He also said Tom Hanks has been contacted for the film. He has his own ideas on what he wants to do with that movie. He actually wants it to be about grown-up Andy searching for all of his lost toys to give to his own children. So that could be a very interesting story. I think that could work really well to kind of close out this saga, really, as it's become over the past over 20 years, 30 years now, almost. We've been watching Toy Story movies. I really think each of them just keep getting better. So why not make 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? I mean, just keep making them until they get worse, I guess. Sebastian Stan has been confirmed to play Donald Trump in a movie called The Apprentice. This movie will cover the former president's rise to fame throughout the 1970s and 80s in New York City. Sebastian Stan, of course, many people know as Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has played some very interesting characters over the years. This will be one of his most unique, certainly. Going to require a lot of makeup and wigs, but I think he can pull it off. Daphne Keane is rumored to return as X-23 in Deadpool 3. She, of course, originated the role in Logan back in 2017, but new rumors suggest that she will return as the character, which I think could be really interesting. A lot of people wanted to see more from her character. She did a great job in the role in Logan, and so very curious to see if they actually bring her back. Is she going to be in the full costume? What kind of role would she play? Would it just be a cameo? I think she could play a major role moving forward in the MCU as they bring in the mutants. I think it could be a great part for her. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly ends up happening with her character, if she's even in the movie. Again, this is just a rumor. So we'll have to wait and see next summer when Deadpool 3 is released. Michael Waldron has been hired to write the script for Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. This movie's gone through a lot of changes recently. Daniel Destin Cretton left the film as director to focus on Shang-Chi 2. And so now the film is without a director, but it now has a writer, Michael Waldron, who created the Loki series on Disney+. He also wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for the studio. He's already set to write Avengers: Secret Wars, which is the follow-up to the Kang Dynasty. We don't know exactly how these films are going to connect, if they are going to continue with the Kang storyline after the mess that Jonathan Majors is in, but We'll have to wait and see what exactly this movie ends up being. They haven't retitled the film, so I'm guessing he will return as the character. We don't know any other cast members so far. The film is set to start filming fairly soon because it's set for a 2026 release date. So be on the lookout for more news about the next Avengers movie very soon. The first trailer for Mad Max Fury Road's prequel, Furiosa, has now been released online. It debuted at a movie convention down in Brazil. The subtitle is A Mad Max Saga, which suggests that we could potentially get even more spin-offs set in this universe. I would be ecstatic to see movies about Toe Cutter, Master Blaster, Auntie Entity, Knight Rider, Feral Kid. Why not? I mean, we could get all kinds of different movies in this universe. There's so many ways we could go with it. George Miller's a genius, so this movie looks like more of the same greatness that we got from Fury Road. Anya Taylor-Joy looks great as a young Furiosa. It's set primarily 15 years before Fury Road, but will lead directly into that film. Also starring in it is an unrecognizable Chris Hemsworth as a character named Dementus. We're also going to be getting his story as a new character. Very curious what we're going to get there. Immortan Joe will play a role here, a younger version of that character. So very interested to see what this movie is going to be, how it's going to lead into Fury Road, what other Mad Max Saga films we could get in the future. Definitely excited for the future of this franchise. Looks very bright. The Oscars have been officially confirmed to air live on ABC March 10th at 7 p.m., so an hour earlier than usual. Hopefully that means the ceremony won't be quite as long this time, but most of these ceremonies do go about 3 hours, so we'll have to wait and see. Jimmy Kimmel will return as the host. Hopefully this time there won't be any slaps. All right, well, that's it for movie news. Now we are on to our main topic today, a unique topic for us here. We're not ranking anything. We're not doing a top 5 or 10 list. We are talking about Christmas movies, our favorite Christmas movies. We're actually going to do a Christmas movie marathon list. So today we have Josh joining us. How you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you.
Excellent. I got my brother Carson here. How are you?
Yes, good. Happy to be here.
He's back. And so, yeah, we're going to do Christmas movie marathon list. We've each created our own lists separate from one another. We haven't communicated about our lists at all this week, but we are going to share those lists, and then we are going to create a shared list, an official real-world Christmas movie marathon list made up of all the movies that we have here. So it should be fun. It's going to be a different kind of episode, a different kind of discussion, but it should be a lot of fun. So join us for this. We're going to dive in right now. All right, so obviously it is now the month of December. We are out of the Thanksgiving season into the season of Christmas. So why did we decide to do a Christmas movie marathon list as a topic? That is a good question. We have, done these kind of rankings before. That's usually what we're doing, is ranking our top 5 director, movies or actors or genres or all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Franchise. We've done all that kind of stuff before. So we just wanted something different to mix it up. Mm-hmm. And, Christmas, our family watches Christmas movies the whole month. So that's what we decided to do, is do a podcast on that. What we did was we created a list of 25 movies. So December 1st, all the way through the 25th, Christmas Day, you can watch one of these
Christmas
movies.
movie every day.
Yeah, that's it. That's just how you do it.
Just like Tom Cruise, watch a movie every day.
That's it. So it's something we haven't tried before. So it'll be unique, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. Again, we created these lists separately on our own, did not communicate about them throughout the week. And so there's going to be some surprises, I'm sure, and some fun ones. But yeah, what our goal is to create the best Christmas movie marathon you could possibly make. So for me, I like variety in my Christmas movies. I don't like them all to be the exact same kind of very sweet, sentimental, dramas or comedies or things like that. I want to throw some action movies in there, maybe even a little bit of horror. So I think this will be fun to kind of, you'll get our individual tastes. And then when we're creating this list, there's 3 of us, so there can be a tiebreaker in case we come to an impasse at one movie or another. So again, 25 movies. We're going to go ahead and get this kicked off right now. Here we go. All right, so before we dive into our top 25 each, we do have some honorable mentions. Some movies that just didn't quite make it. We also did not include any shorts or specials. A lot of those I'm a big fan of. I'm going to kick us off. Mickey's Christmas Carol. I think that is one of the best adaptations. It's very short. It's like 20 minutes,
Sure.
30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
But it is a great adaptation of Charles Dickens' story. So had to mention that. That's on Disney Plus.
Also, not including the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
Charlie Brown, that's one I was going to mention too.
Doesn't count as a theatrical length film.
Right. It's only about 35 or 40 minutes.
Right,
I think, something like that.
Same goes for Rudolph.
Right. Rudolph, Frosty, all
Right.
those classics.
Right.
We did not include. I have another one here, The Toy Story That Time Forgot.
Oh, that's
I think
right.
That is a great one.
Oh,
Because that takes place on Christmas Day. Bonnie takes her toys over to her friend's house.
Right.
And, they have a fun kind of Christmas adventure there. So I like that one a lot.
Dinosaur Barbarians.
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy just put one out last year, the holiday special, which
Yep.
I was a big fan of. Got to rewatch that just the other night.
Very good.
So I had to mention that one. And then Shaun the Sheep, The Flight Before Christmas. This is on Netflix right now. Definitely worth watching if you're a Shaun the Sheep fan like I am. I'm a huge fan of both of his movies as well as the series. I would highly recommend checking that out. And then I have 3 movies. They're kind of like movies that are basically just set around Christmas. They're not really Christmassy enough for me to quite consider in the list. They are ones that we watch sometimes, though. First up is First Blood, the first Rambo movie, which is there's like barely any reference to Christmas in like the background of one scene.
Yeah.
So I didn't include that one, even though it does technically take place during Christmas. Another great action movie is Lethal Weapon. Big fan of that one. That one has a lot more Christmassy stuff in it. There's actually some Christmas songs that are played, and you're seeing a lot of decorations and snow and that kind of thing. But that one didn't quite make the cut. And then Iron Man 3, I think, is a great Christmas movie. That one actually does have some Christmassy.
That was very close
elements.
to making my list.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was very close. That one and Shazam were 2 that were close.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, Shazam as well.
Yeah. Did you have Shazam, Josh?
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Yeah.
Did
you have any others that I didn't mention?
Let's see, Shazam. The Nightmare Before Christmas didn't make it.
Okay. Yeah.
A short you guys did mention was Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Of course.
Right.
I don't know if the Frosty Christmas in July counts or Frosty Returns, but like you said, all those.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That are great, but just they're not movies.
Right.
Let's see. I think the only other one I had was which was it? Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas.
Oh, you know what? I watched this with my daughters for the first time this year. I actually quite
Did it
enjoyed
scare
it.
them?
They got a little freaked out. Yeah, they got a little freaked out. Not too bad.
Yeah,
though.
Forte.
They're huge Beauty and the Beast fans, so they were enraptured.
Okay. Yeah, Forte always scared me as a kid, just
Yeah.
because he's so imposing. I don't know.
He is.
To this day, he's still one of my favorite villains, just because he's so
awesome.
I don't know, cool.
He is, and I think Tim Curry voiced him. Great
that
voice.
makes sense.
Great voice. But
Yeah, this 100% would have been in my list had it not been for the fact that it wasn't a theatrical release.
sure.
Right.
But
How the Grinch Stole Christmas is another one that was on my list.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Didn't make the cut.
oh yeah,
Oh.
the short. Oh, you're right. It was Tim Curry.
Oh, the short. You remember the short?
Right, the
Okay,
animated
not
short.
the movie. Okay.
The movie's also not on my list.
Oh,
but
really?
That's unrelated.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Jim
Jim Carrey.
Carrey one.
Didn't make my list.
Oh,
I'm not a big
Okay.
fan of that movie.
I feel like it's either people love it or hate it. I think that's the
Kind of like Polar
general swing of
Express.
that. Yeah. That one, it's not even an honorable mention on my list. I don't care for it at all.
Gotcha.
That's exactly how I feel about How the
It
Grinch
really
Stole Christmas.
didn't make the list.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else, Josh? Or is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. All right, great. Well, we might as well start revealing these lists so we can get our final list created.
Let's do it.
You want me to kick us off?
Sure.
All right, cool. So I'm starting off with
December 1st.
December 1st. It's got to be Miracle on 34th Street. And the reason for this is because, and this is the 1947 version, the black and white original.
Sure.
Is my favorite. Although I do like the remake from the 90s. It's very good too. But this movie takes place on Thanksgiving Day. It starts on Thanksgiving Day during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah, the parade.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we actually typically will watch this on Thanksgiving night. That's usually how we kick off our marathon.
I like that.
This
I like
movie.
that.
But I think, I just had to include it. So I included it on December 1st because I think it's a great story. It's just so well made. The acting's great. It's just really wonderful. So that one starts off. I like to start off with a very kind of grounded Christmas movie. It doesn't have a lot of fantasy elements to it. It's Santa on Trial. It's kind of like a courtroom drama. A lot
Yeah.
of the movies.
It is.
So it's a different kind of film, but I like to start there with a classic, grounded type of movie. Then for December 2nd, I went a totally different way. And I started to try to do movies that were more like, again, just kind of the Christmas setting. And it's not
Right.
really a Christmas story necessarily. So I went with The Green Knight. Pull up my Green Knight Blu-ray over there.
Okay, yeah.
This is one
Ooh.
of my favorite movies of recent years, and it happens to take place during Christmas. The Green Knight himself says, "Let's play a Christmas game" when he comes to Sir Gawain. So, yeah, I had to bring this one up because it's just such a unique fantasy film. It has that kind of winter aesthetic to
Right.
it, although it's not like all covered in snow necessarily, but I just feel like it works well for December. This is a good December movie.
It's
So
a very cool box set too.
it is, yeah. It's a great box set. A24 put that
Oh
together.
yeah.
Did a really good job. So had to bring that one into it. So I decided to do that one earlier in the schedule. So that's December 2nd. Then I have The Chronicles of Narnia on
Okay.
December 3rd. I think we were talking about this. You like to
Yeah.
watch this one like after Christmas.
Yes, typically this is the
Oh,
movie I
really?
watch at the last day of December because it's about the end of winter and
Right.
the beginning of a new season.
That's fair.
That's usually when I watch
Right.
it, but I had to adjust it to fit it on my list, so
Right.
it is in my list. It's
Right.
just not at the end.
Yeah, I put it higher because again, it's like there's Christmas elements to it, like Father Christmas and the presents and the
Right.
snow, but it's not like super Christmassy again. So that's why I put it earlier. Then I have Gremlins. Huge fan of. Oh, did you have something you mentioned there, John?
I was gonna say, I just realized as you talk about like Narnia, right after Green Knight, is you went from starting in grounded Christmas without fantasy elements, swinging
Right.
all the way
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
over
yeah.
to fantasy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Way over. Yeah. I like to go back and forth. I don't like it to just be one thing. I like to go back and forth. So
Right.
yeah, heavy into fantasy. Still kind of in the fantasy realm with Gremlins. That's my next one. 1984, the original Gremlins movie. I rewatched recently, and it holds up so well. The puppet work, all of it's just fantastic. Joe Dante's a genius. So I had to have that one in there. Again, that one has the horror element too, so it's a little bit of a different genre. Then we go into action with Die Hard. So we're going back into a grounded kind of film. Die Hard, just action packed. Still includes a lot of Christmas stuff, a lot of Christmas references, Christmas songs, Christmas story. I mean, it's a family oriented story, really. Even the themes, right? It's not for kids.
Oh, now I have a machine gun.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not for kids, but it's one that's family centric in its kind of storytelling,
Right.
husband and wife and all that kind of stuff. So that one I had to have there. Then I went with Batman Returns. So Batman Returns, one of my favorite Batman movies ever. The whole aesthetic is just so great. Tim Burton's style. I love that it's like fully on screen.
I prefer the Batman Returns as a Christmas movie over Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's Tim Burton's style and live action in Gotham City. I think works better than it does in Nightmare Before Christmas.
I agree. And he actually directed this one.
Yeah.
He didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
So
oh yeah,
Batman Returns is great. All the snow, all the Christmas stuff, just super weird and out there and fun. So had to have that there. And then I went with Shazam. I put Shazam next, actually, because I wanted to stay in the superhero realm.
Sure.
This one's, of course, Batman's very grounded. This one's very fantasy-esque.
Right.
But it's, again, all set during Christmas in the snow, all a foster family story, which I think is unique. So, I definitely wanted to include Shazam. Then I went with the movie that we have on in the background right now, Klaus.
This is on December 6th, right? This is your number 6?
Correct. Yes, exactly. Okay. So Klaus would be up next, a good mix of kind of, comedy, some kind of emotional elements to the story as well.
Yeah, Klaus is new, but it's great. I think it's become a classic.
Oh yeah.
I agree. It's just so well animated and just it looks fantastic. So big fan of that one. Then I went from a family-oriented one like Klaus, totally in the other way to a horror movie, Anna and the Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a massive fan of this movie. It's, I think in my Letterboxd review, I say it's my favorite high school teen drama comedy zombie musical of all time. It's also the only one.
It's the only one, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, had to include that. That's one that came out in 2017, and ever since I first saw it, we've watched it every year. It's just so well done. Yeah, so much fun to watch. So yeah, definitely had to have that in there. Now we're getting more Christmassy as we go. So from here on, they get more Christmassy. Next up is the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which I think
Mm.
is just one of the most underrated movies.
Very good.
I think it's beautiful looking film. It just really the production design, costumes, the effects, cinematography, lighting. It's just really incredible to look at. It's stunning visually. And then the story I really like too. There's kind of a lot going on there, but I think they handle it really well. The actors all do a great job. Morgan Freeman, Helen Mirren, Keira Knightley, all do a great job. As well as Mackenzie Foy, who leads the film and just does a fantastic job in her role. So definitely another newer one that, again, didn't get a lot of recognition, didn't make a lot of money at the box office, had some kind of production issues, went through extensive reshoots. Joe Johnston came in and did all the reshoots for
really?
Hallstrom, I think was the original director's name. But yeah, so it ended up getting 2 director credits. But it's very cohesive. It doesn't feel like, oh, there's 2 directors here. Obviously, it's like very much they continued the story and the whole aesthetic, and it just feels the same. So very unique kind of situation there, but it turned out great. Next up would be another kind of classic that I didn't grow up with, but that it's grown on me. I still don't think it's a great movie necessarily, but I think it's worth watching every year just because of all the iconic moments and quotes in it. It's A Christmas Story from 1983. You know, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. Like all these classic lines and moments, and it's very interesting because it doesn't feel like a story. It feels like a bunch of short stories like put together almost. Like it's I don't know how to describe it really. It's just a kind of unique film, but it really hit the zeitgeist and became a very popular film. That I think, again, it's not one of my favorites necessarily. I just felt like I had to include it because, again, it's iconic, it's quotable, and for another reason I'll get into in a moment. I would follow that up that I tried to kind of almost do the rest of these in like a timeline order. So Christmas Story takes place in the 30s. White Christmas takes place in the 50s. So that was my next pick, was White Christmas, one of my favorite musicals. I really like that film. Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, the whole cast is just fantastic. Great dance numbers, great music. It's all really well done. Yeah. And then I went into another film set in the 50s, which is The Polar Express. Polar Express, I am one of the fans of Polar Express, unlike Josh. I actually really like this one. I think it's really whimsical and fun and just kind of has some great songs in it. You know, it's early days with the mocap stuff, which, you know, I get some people are very turned off by, but it doesn't like harm the movie for me really, because at least the style is consistent throughout. And I feel like, you know, it kind of works, especially for Tom Hanks playing like 6 different characters. I just have a blast with that, and it really works in that way. So I really enjoy that movie. It's got some exciting moments, got some funny moments. It's got great, you know, lessons learned at the end. It all kind of comes together. So I do enjoy that one quite a bit.
The Josh Groban song.
The credits, man, I watched the whole credits just for that song. It's excellent.
That's the best part of the movie for me.
It is really awesome.
So I went from that into, again, the reason I really included A Christmas Story is because I like the sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas, which just came out last year.
It's much better.
I think it's a lot better. The story, the way it's shot, the acting, like all of it, everything about the movie is just better. Yeah, I think so too. Which is so rare for a direct-to-streaming legacy sequel. Like I would never thought it would have been a good movie at all, but it ends up being a really kind of surprisingly impactful, emotional story, very family-centric, and Peter Billingsley comes back as Ralphie, and he's grown up now and has kids of his own, and it's just a really, really good story. So definitely recommend that. That's streaming on Max if you haven't seen it. So that takes place in like the 70s. Then I go into the 80s with Ernest Saves Christmas. So the Ernest movie is like, okay, so Ernest was a character that started on a TV commercial. Jim Varney plays this character. So Jim Varney is the voice of Slinky Dog in the Toy Story film. Right. Oh. He was a comedian and actor back in the 80s and 90s who since passed away, sadly. But he did a lot of these Ernest movies. Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Camp. He was a TV commercial character that became so popular that they decided, hey, let's start making movies about this guy.
That's
And
crazy.
so, yeah, it's very rare that happens. So he
Yeah,
started
imagine
making
a Geico Gecko movie.
right,
It'd be
exactly, yeah,
hilarious.
exactly. So he made a bunch of these movies. They're all very average. This one, though, I think stands above all of them. It's again, it's like the title suggests, him saving Christmas. He meets Santa. He has to help Santa, save Christmas and the whole thing. It's really fun, funny, silly. A lot of it takes place in Florida, which is where we live. So
Okay.
there's some landmarks that you might see there, but it's just
That's
really,
cool.
really well done. Very low budget, but it's just a fun movie. So had to include that. Then I went with Scrooged. So Scrooged stars Bill Murray, who is one of my favorite actors, and it's the kind of modern 80s take on A Christmas Carol.
Right.
And he's a TV executive. He's, just terrible to everyone. And Bill Murray plays that so well, as he does in Groundhog Day and elsewhere. But it's great. It's Richard Donner directed it, who of course did the original Superman movie, Lethal Weapon. He's done a ton of my favorite movies with The Goonies. So he's a favorite director of mine. He really goes crazy with the visual style here. There's a lot of wacky stuff going on. Great characters, great performances. Karen Allen is in it, from my favorite movie of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
So she does a great job in it as well. It's one of my favorites, honestly. I give it very, very high rating. I think I have it at like 4.5 stars. It's one of my favorites. So
I still need to see that one.
yeah.
It gets crazy.
It does.
The further along the movie goes, it gets like off the rails crazy.
It's off the rails for sure. But in a fun way that kind of works for the story.
Right.
So I had to include that. Staying in the 80s with a time-honored tradition with our family, Christmas Vacation, National Lampoons. That one is my favorite of that whole series by far.
This one's quoted year-round.
And exactly. We don't just quote this in Christmas time. We quote it all year. So that one is definitely in there easily. And then jumping into the 90s with Home Alone, had to have Home Alone in. It's pretty much a perfect movie. Old Man Marley is one of my favorite movie characters of all time. He reflects what Kevin could become one day. It's like there's so many great elements to that story. It's so well written. John Hughes did a great job writing it. And then Chris Columbus, of course, directing. Macaulay Culkin just got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. He was there with his wife, Brenda Song, who's from, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Tipton.
Yeah.
They've got
a homecoming queen.
That's right. Yeah. They've got a couple kids now. And so they were all there they were with Catherine O'Hara, the mom from Home Alone. She gave a speech.
That's sweet.
That's cool. So yeah.
I just saw a picture of one of his kids and it looks exactly like him.
Yes. They're
like younger Kevin.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So anyways, Home Alone had to be in. Then I had to go with another classic, the box set. Hold up the box set again. I've got the whole box set here of the
here he is,
the Santa Claus film. So
nice.
The first Santa Claus to me is a classic. I grew up watching. It's just Tim Allen at his finest. It's great. It's so much fun. Really great story, really great visuals, and just a great version of the North Pole.
Yep.
All that stuff. It just works so well. It's got so many great iconic moments in it too. So the first Santa Claus movie. Then I went with Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is another one that I've watched for years and years and years.
Yes.
Always enjoyed. And Arnold is just in true form there with Sinbad. It's just really, really fun. Kind of satire on consumerism and all the rest of it. So that's a great one. Then one of my all-time favorite, not just Christmas movies. This is a 5-star film. This is one of my favorite movies ever made. It's The Muppet Christmas Carol. The Muppet. I'm a huge fan of the Muppets, first of all. Jim Henson and all his creations are just so fun. And this is them at their finest. This is like such a great script. It's taking that story and Muppetizing it, I call it. It's like kind of like,
it's not necessarily a spoof.
Yeah, it's not making fun of it.
Yeah.
But it's like having fun with it. It's like, it's
treading that line.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a wink and nod adaptation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's framed great with Gonzo and Rizzo kind of narrating the whole thing. And then you have, all the silliness going on, but Michael Caine playing this serious as a heart attack. Like it's true. Like he's like trying to go for an Oscar worthy performance. And to me, he does. To me, it's his best performance still I've ever seen.
I think so too.
I mean, it's truly like he's fully inhabiting Scrooge.
Yeah.
And the way he takes that character on the arc, like by the end of the movie, there's such a transformation that happens. And it's just his demeanor, his face, his expression, his tone of voice, like everything about his performance is so good. So had to include that one, obviously. Then I would go with The Family Man. This is one of my favorite Nicolas Cage performances. He wakes up Christmas morning and he's got a family all of a sudden. It's kind of like an alternate. A lot of these I've noticed, like this one and one I'm about to talk about is basically a Christmas Carol, like reworked in some way. Like Christmas Carol's like,
sure,
okay, here's your past, here's your present, here's your possible future. This one's like, if you had made this other decision, 10, 20 years ago, here's what your life would be like. And so it's kind of a cool concept that I think works really well for a lot of these movies and kind of showing what's important in life, what's important to you, what matters most. So that whole thing I think works really well in this movie. Again, Nicolas Cage, Tay Leone are just fantastic here. Don Cheadle, great cast. So really like that one. And then I went with How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I know Carson's not a fan of this one. Jim Carrey here is brilliant. I think his performance is fantastic. It's Ron Howard doing some really weird, like, the whole production design. Like, it's just so Seussy.
So crazy.
It's literally the closest you could get in a live action film to one of those Dr. Seuss books, I feel like. So they just did a great job with the again, the sets, the costumes, the makeup, all the performances I like. I really think it's fun and silly. It's maybe a little too long.
I think it is.
I do feel like at some points in the movie, it feels a little bit like it's dragging. They spend a little too much time with other characters. I'd rather it focus more on the Grinch. But all in all, I still have a fun time with it. It's also one of my wife's favorite movies. So if I didn't put it on, I would be in big trouble. So I had to include that one. Then my last two, I think the perfect Christmas Eve movie is It's a Wonderful Life. Every year, that's our go-to Christmas Eve movie. It's again another five-star film. Jimmy Stewart's best performance. Frank Capra just at his finest. And then on Christmas Day, the only movie to watch, in my opinion, is The Nativity Story. I still find that to be just a great adaptation of the biblical narrative. It takes it very seriously. It's very dramatic.
With Oscar Isaac?
That's Oscar Isaac. That's right. Yep. Oscar Isaac is Joseph. Yeah. It's so well done. Catherine Hardwicke directed this, and you could tell she just really took a lot of care when telling this story. Doesn't add a lot to the biblical narrative, doesn't take away anything from it. Again, it's just very kind of faithful and
very reverently made.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's Christmas Day. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown. So that I had to put at Christmas Day. All right, guys. Well, that's it for my list. So let's move on to Josh's list. What 25 Christmas movies do you have?
So I was thinking about this, and I started out kind of actually in the same way I accidentally did this year without realizing, and that is with The Holdovers.
Oh, yes.
He got to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, that movie rocks.
It was so good. Yes. I didn't know it was supposed to be a Christmas movie, essentially. But like right from the gate, you're like, oh, I guess this is a Christmas movie.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, really, really cool.
So good.
And then kind of going off from that, I guess, and in the Apocalypse, because it's, I guess closest to the Halloween. So
awesome. Awesome. Right.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Right in the line there.
Yeah.
And then just kind of going straight for all the action films here. Silent Night, Die Hard, Home Alone, Jingle All the Way, Violent Night.
Okay.
Capping it off on the 8th with Home Alone 2.
Okay.
Interesting.
Those are all the action films.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
After the action films, then I so let's get back to maybe more Christmassy feeling.
Right.
So on the 9th, I got Holiday Inn.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
The prototype for White Christmas, essentially.
Yes. Sure. Bing Crosby, yeah.
And then keeping up the Christmassy theme, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
Then I also try to include movies that aren't necessarily like Christmas movies, but either they have like really strong themes or they can be watched around that time of year.
Sure.
So, or just kind of has that Christmassy feel to it.
Right.
This one, doesn't have the Christmassy feel, but some of the themes. So Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
yeah,
Very
because
cool.
Idris Elba's character has like a Christmas tree. He says ho ho
That's
ho.
right. That's right.
A
Interesting.
non-human android tells the main character she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Then she gives
Ooh,
birth to said
Very
uh,
interesting.
alien.
Yeah.
that's
I don't
right.
know. It's just like, huh. So Screen Rant had like an article about it, and they about a bunch of different movies, and they were mentioning that, and I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Huh.
cool.
That's awesome. Good pick.
And then While You Were Sleeping, because that's just
Oh, I like that one.
not necessary. I think Christmas does take place in it, but it's
Yep.
just
Yeah.
that time
Yeah.
of year and that
It
kind of
goes,
feel.
I think it goes all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then thank you for reminding me, Cameron. Now I have the Green Knight.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. Great.
And then this is sort of like a Jesus trilogy, if you will.
Okay.
The Green Knight, the Nativity Story, and the Chronicles of Narnia.
Nice. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good mix there.
Very
And
cool.
the reason I mentioned it with the Green Knight, I don't know. I don't know if we've talked about this movie extensively, Cameron, but I feel
Yeah.
like the scene where Gawain comes in all muddy to meet the
Yeah.
king,
Yep.
and the king's at his house or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like, and like he's wiping the dirt away from his face. I was like, dang, there was like really strong,
Yeah.
like I don't want to say Jesus vibes, but
Right. Right.
Right. Right.
yeah,
Biblical
with
allegory,
King Arthur's
spiritual
character,
themes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
for
was
sure.
like, dang, kind of like
Right.
washing the
Right.
feet, except it was his face. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Mm-hmm.
really powerful stuff there in that
Yeah.
scene.
There's a lot
Um,
of Catholic imagery with
Yeah.
the halos around King Arthur
Right.
and all
mm,
kinds of stuff all throughout that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, good pick.
yeah, playing off of the fantasy element for Narnia. On the 16th, I have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's
Mm.
Stone.
Okay. Okay.
They changed it to Philosophers on Letterboxd for some reason. I know it technically is
Oh,
originally
really?
Philosophers, but
In England, that's the title of the original book.
Right. I knew that. I
yeah,
didn't know that's what it was
and the
called
movie in
in
England.
England.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I don't
interesting.
know. I think they go off of the movie or the movie database, and maybe they're British. I don't know.
Right.
Right.
Maybe. Hmm.
But so then getting back to more Christmas stuff, Santa Claus 2, kind of weird to go out of order there, but I feel like we've seen these movies enough that we can just put
Yeah.
one on and it's fine.
Sure.
Right.
Plus, this one isn't as good as the Santa Claus, so I
Okay.
wanted to get it out of the way first.
Sure. Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
But then kind of doing a Claus trilogy and got the Christmas Chronicles and then Klaus.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
And
Nice.
then really just getting into the home stretch on the 20th, I put Greta Gerwig's Little Women.
Ooh.
Oh,
So that's one of
great
those.
pick.
It just feels
Ah,
right to watch it in this time of year.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Man, I wish I had that one.
It's not too late.
Haven't gone yet.
And then I got It's a Wonderful Life,
Hmm.
and then Elf on the 22nd.
Oh, of course. Cameron, you didn't even have Elf on your
I didn't have Elf.
list.
I got bumped. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh
no.
wow! Totally was like, oh, sorry, didn't make it. And then the last 3 days, we usually watch these three movies pretty darn close to somewhere around Christmas. And the last one on Christmas Day usually. So Christmas with the Cranks on the 23rd,
Okay.
Christmas Eve with the Santa Claus, and then White Christmas on Christmas Day.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great list.
Awesome.
Great
Yeah.
list. Really
Very
good stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
A
Definitely
lot of out of the box choices. that I
Definitely.
like.
Yeah. I like a lot of these.
Yeah.
Very like unique, and yeah, I wasn't expecting a few of these. So that's really good.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, Carson, you're up. What do you got on your list?
All right, let's do it. So, starting my list, I started with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which, as we know, has Spider-Man's Christmas song, Spidey Bells, and it
Oh,
takes place during Christmas for the first half.
It's true.
that's right.
So that's kind of where I started, was a movie that you don't think of generally as Christmas, but it's kind of has that in it a little bit.
Mhm.
Then I went into Gremlins, was my second pick, because it's kind of that bridge between Halloween and Christmas a little bit.
Mhm.
It's kind of a horror movie set in the winter.
We were on the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
Different
I
movies, same
I
wavelength.
almost put The Thing on this list, but The Gremlins was a little more Christmassy
Oh,
because I love
that's
John
true, it
Carpenter's The
is.
Thing. Okay,
Huh.
so my number 3 is Miracle on 34th Street, the original, of course.
hmm
And then we have White Christmas after that. So getting much more acquainted with the holiday. And then here I kind of broke up because I have a few franchises in here, but I didn't want to just back to back watch all of them next to each other. So I have
Yeah.
Santa Claus, A Christmas Story, then Santa Claus 2, then A Christmas Story Christmas, then Santa Claus 3, which, by the way, Santa Claus 3 is my favorite. I know.
Really? Out of those
controversial
three?
pick. Martin Short
What?
is so full of charisma that he sells me on the whole thing. I
Okay.
just love it. I love his version of the North Pole. I love it's so funny and just fun. I grew up watching that movie and just love it.
Mm,
So my number 10 after Santa Claus 3 is The Holdovers. Great movie.
nice.
Just watched it and now I'm like, can't imagine Christmas without it at this point. It's so cool. Then 11 is Home Alone. We've talked about this. Perfect film, honestly. Very good. Then 12, I have Die Hard because I wanted kind of in the middle of watching these movies that are very Christmassy to kind of have something to break it up a little bit.
Okay.
So it's not like consistently overblown with the whole, holiday cheer. A little bit of variety in the middle. Then I have A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, the Robert Zemeckis movie, his other CGI Christmas movie. Which, by the way, I love all of his motion capture movies. Robert Zemeckis, I think, is awesome. I have Polar Express later on this list. You'll see. Okay, so 14 is Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which I just love. I mean, I don't think we've had a better fantasy movie like that since Narnia. That kind of like child goes into a wonderful land and, cool epic fantasy stuff. So then 15, I have Anne and the Apocalypse, again, to kind of break up the Christmas a little bit. And then 16, I have Jingle All the Way.
Nice.
Then A Muppet Christmas Carol. Then I have Klaus. And getting into really close to the last holidays, 19 through 25, I have The Family Man.
Okay.
So good. Nicolas Cage, he's my favorite actor of all time. And he just
nice.
does so well in The Family Man. It's like It's a Wonderful Life, but from the perspective of the bad reality, where he's like the angry businessman who has to learn to have a nicer life. Very cool. So my number 20 is Elf. And then 21, I have The Polar Express. Then I have Narnia at 22. 23, I have Christmas Vacation. Then I have The Nativity Story at 24, Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is It's a Wonderful Life.
Nice.
Great lists, guys. These are really good. There's quite a bit of overlap, but we've got a few that we're definitely gonna have to figure out here. So,
yeah.
So this is gonna be fun. Okay, cool. So I've got all the lists in front of me. Let's go ahead and just take a look at what we have in common. So I think we all have It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep.
So let me put that up here.
Oh, we all have Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause as well. Interesting.
We actually don't. We definitely don't have that one.
Good try though.
Yeah. So
I think the Santa Claus is the only one we have in common because I think I have two on there, and Cameron, I don't think you had two on there either.
I did not have two. So yeah, we do all have the Santa Claus though.
Right.
So I'll put that one up here. I think we all had
Anne and the Apocalypse.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did. Oh, good. Okay, cool. And then
Jingle All the Way as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
White Christmas.
White Christmas was in all the lists for sure.
I think Klaus was too. Cameron, did you have Klaus in your list?
I did.
That's right.
Okay, so yeah, that's all three.
Klaus makes it.
I would have said Elf, but somehow Cameron didn't have.
Well, Elf. We'll talk about Elf. I mean, Elf. Look, Elf is one of my favorites too. It was just one of those that was like, I don't know. There were just I knew you guys would have it, and so it was one of those where I was just like, I'll just not mention it because it'll get in there. So
right.
I'll go ahead and put Elf because it definitely needs to be in there.
It deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. I think we all had Home Alone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Do all the second one as well?
I didn't have the second one. See, to me, here's my problem with the second one. The second one I like. It's just I feel like they remade the first one in a different setting, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, so to me,
but Tim Curry.
I know Tim Curry's great. Tim Curry's great. The Pigeon Lady's great. I like it. It's just if I'm gonna choose one to watch, I'm gonna choose the first one because it's the original. It's the classic. Sure. It's I don't know. It's got John Candy.
Yeah,
it's got
like. True.
It's just got it's
not enough polka for him.
And, right. And to me, it's just a better overall story for Kevin. Like I feel like I see his character in that first movie.
Okay.
So I just feel like it's a more well-made film. But so we'll definitely have Home Alone 1. Did we all have Narnia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all had Narnia and Die Hard, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And Jingle All the Way, I think too.
Yeah, put Jingle All the Way.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Then we had Miracle on 34th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, technically that I bumped that out, but yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Did we all have Green Knight?
I didn't.
Oh, you
but
didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
I
that.
didn't?
Well,
Okay.
let's figure out what we had first.
He said he wanted to.
He wanted
I'm okay
to.
with
He
it. I'm
wanted
okay
to,
with it. I love Green Knight.
we'll probably include it. Nativity Story. We all had that.
Yes.
Right. Did we all have Christmas Vacation?
I don't think
I
Josh
haven't
had
seen
that.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you haven't even seen it. Oh, wow.
No, I haven't even seen it.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Cool. All right,
Or
well,
A Christmas Story. I
Oh,
know you guys
right.
have both of
Those are
on your
both.
lists as
Those are
well.
both like you have to have a family that watches it
Right,
forever. Those are
right,
family
right.
tradition movies.
Exactly. But we need to get, I think, man, we might should do that this month. Like, have you watch it and do a video, like react.
Come over to our
podcast.
family's house and watch it. Our family
Watch
gathering.
it as we quote it all the time. It's the worst way to watch a movie. Like everyone else knows it so well, they're
Yeah.
quoting it the whole time. You're going,
What's going on?
Yes.
it'd be funny.
I'm not opposed to including any of those three. It's not like I don't want them on there. I just haven't seen them. So.
Right.
We'll think about it. I just want to
How
get
many do we
I
have
just want
so
to get the
far?
ones we have in common out of the way first.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to see if we missed
Any other
anything
commonalities?
else.
Did you say End of the Apocalypse already?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did say that one.
Okay.
We said White Christmas.
Nutcracker? I think a couple of us had Nutcracker.
I think you and
Yeah.
I did.
I need to
you have it?
rewatch that one. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once. I need to
Okay.
rewatch it.
Yeah.
I think that's all the commonality. I'm pretty sure. Oh,
Right.
well, no, only two of us had Grinch. Only two of us had Polar Express.
Gremlins?
I haven't
Josh
seen
had
it.
Oh, that's
Gremlins.
right. That's right.
Most of the ones you guys had that I didn't, I haven't seen.
Right.
Gotcha,
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all the ones the three of us had in common.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not opposed, just
so-
ignorant.
No, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So, what did we just say we weren't opposed to including? Was it the
Green Knight.
Green Knight? Okay.
Santa Claus 3.
That
You
that's
the vote for
debatable.
that.
That's debatable. That's debatable. We've already got the first one on there. I think that's plenty.
What about Polar Express?
I mean, Josh is not a fan of Polar
Ugh.
Express, but he's not a fan
It's
of Grinch.
fine
So
if,
hey,
if we have to.
if he gives
That's
us
a fair
Grinch,
trade. That seems a fair trade.
if we
Yeah,
did, if we
I'll
did-
budge for Grinch.
we'll
if-
do
if you'll
Grinch
give me
and
Polar
Polar.
Express. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what we should probably talk about is how highly we have these ranked or rated.
Oh, that's true.
Mm.
That's
how I originally had the list was not in day order, but in like rank order.
Yeah, that's what we should talk about, because if you have a 5-star movie that I have as a 5-star movie, it should probably be on the list
For sure.
So,
What did you rate the Holdovers, Josh?
I think 4.5.
Yeah, me too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
high.
Okay, even though I haven't seen it, I'll trust you guys and put it on there.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
It's just visually,
Yeah.
visually, that movie is so smart in the way that it's made. It's like starkly in the 70s, but like in terms of aspect ratio, in terms of the way it was
Mhm.
edited, there's a lot of dissolves. The
Okay.
dialogue seems like it was almost written kind of
Yeah.
in that era. It's
Right.
very snappy.
I didn't even
It's-
notice the dissolves or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I
It's-
just noticed the beginning and the end
Yeah.
with like the way they did the credits and the
Right,
little
right.
crackliness on
Mhm,
the
mhm. The music,
intros.
too. Yeah,
That's cool.
yes.
right.
But
Great.
if you didn't know wasn't made in the 70s, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You think you're watching a movie made in the
Totally.
70s.
Right.
Totally.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's very cool.
All right. Okay.
What about
so
superhero movies? We should have at least one.
You guys
yeah.
make a good point.
I'm like I said, I had both Batman Returns and Shazam on there. I don't know which one you guys are
Spider-Verse.
towards. You like
Just saying.
Spider-Verse? When I think Spider-Verse, I don't think Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, Batman Returns, I instantly think a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Even Shazam, even though there's not like a ton of explicit references.
There is a
it's
Santa
there.
Claus in it.
There's a Santa Claus.
Wait, there is?
Yeah.
It's like a mall Santa.
he's like a mall Santa on the over to the side.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's a whole like Christmas like carnival thing going on.
True.
At the
true.
final act.
Right.
oh yeah, you're right.
Right.
What do you guys think? Are you guys leaning towards Shazam, or would you rather have Batman Returns?
If it's between those two, I'd rather have Batman Returns because I don't
Same.
want Nightmare Before Christmas on the list.
Right. Well,
I don't think any of us have
picked
that. Did any of us have
No,
that?
I don't think any of us picked that.
Okay.
No, honorable mentions.
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh? Thoughts on Batman and Shazam?
I like the idea of including a superhero movie, and I didn't have none of those made my like the actual list, but I
Right.
rather do Batman than
Yeah, I
Shazam.
think so too.
Like it just seems more Christmassy.
Yeah, it's more appropriate
It
for
is.
sure.
It is. Okay, cool. So we'll throw Batman Returns in. One I just saw, Muppet Christmas Carol. Both you and I have.
Yeah,
Have
we
you
both
not
had
seen that, Josh? Or
I have, but it's been so long
Okay,
ago.
okay,
But I know
okay.
you guys like really like that one, so
It
that's
is
why.
yeah,
really
like I
good.
said, it's a 5-star movie for me. So
Actually, when you were talking about Michael Caine, I remembered. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there was that meme. I don't know if you guys saw going around that like Michael Caine's like trying to be like a normal person as serious as he
Yeah.
can be in the Muppets movie, and then Tim Curry is trying to be a Muppet in the Muppets
Exactly,
movie.
exactly. Yes, yes,
so true.
totally.
That's true. All right, let's see how many this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We already
18.
have
Okay.
together. So let's see
There's 7
here.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Were there any that were
How
two
do
that
we
we
feel
didn't already
about
put in? I was gonna say we already checked all the ones where we all had
Right.
it. Were there any that we didn't already add where only 2 of us had it?
that's a good point.
Oh.
Yes. I think A Christmas Story and A Christmas Story Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
you had both of those?
I had both. Did you have only
Yeah, you guys both had both
Oh,
of
you
them.
had both. Well, if we only
I
put
don't
one
know if
on,
we should
I'm
put
fine
both.
with
the second one.
the second one.
Yeah.
It's better.
It's better. It is.
That's great. Yeah, like you said, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, the first one is an interesting kind of novelty for what it is because it's again, it's not like a movie. It doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like your grandpa telling you random things that happened to him when he was a kid.
Right.
Like it's just like a series of random events that happen to take place during Christmas.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very strange. And it doesn't really have an ending. It just kind of like fizzles off.
Oh, really?
There's no like, yeah, it's very strange. The structure is very odd.
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Including.
But we all had Prometheus on our list.
Did not. That was a great outside the box choice. Though. I really like.
Yeah, I
that
wouldn't
too.
mind having a couple that only one of us had on there.
I think we've already done all the ones that
Yeah,
had
I think
2 of
you
us
and I.
on it.
Oh wait, Carson and I both had Family Man. I think.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I just haven't seen
Okay.
it. I've only seen it once,
Gotcha.
so it's been a while. I didn't even think
Right.
about it. I definitely added it to honorable mentions.
Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't seen it until I think last year was the first time I ever saw
Really?
it. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool. So now we've got to figure out. Let's see how many. 20. Okay, so we need 5 more.
5 more.
So
There's room for Santa Claus 3.
No. Get that out of your head. That movie doesn't exist. Never happened. Let's see.
What about do we want more
Well,
kind of
I think
horror-y?
both you and I have Gremlins.
Oh, that's right. We
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so now we need 4 more.
Okay.
Let me make sure. Oh wait, did we put? Okay, we did put Polar Express. in.
Yes.
Yeah, he gave. Okay, that's right. He gave us that. We gave him.
And you guys put
Gremlins.
Grinch in there.
Grinch, right? Grinch.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's my other ones that are not on the list.
I think
Um,
most of mine
Nutcracker
are on there.
Nutcracker.
Oh, Nutcracker's
You
not
guys
on.
didn't put that one on there?
Yeah, put that one on.
Oh, I
Okay,
thought you put that one on
we
there
gotta
already.
put that in. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we just need 3 more. So each of us can pick one.
Most of my
Each
list,
of us can pick one
most
from
of
our
my
list.
list is on
do
this
that.
list.
Hey,
Let's
there
just
you
do
go.
one of us. Each of us pick one from our list that
you
hasn't
two
been
pick.
picked.
Most of my list is already on the list.
Do you have one that's not though?
Santa Claus 3. Honestly, Santa Claus.
We can't
3,
give him
that's
that
the
power.
one. Spider Verse.
Oh, would you rather?
Those
put that on
those
there?
are the ones.
What would you rather put on?
You guys pick. You guys
No,
pick.
you
You have
pick,
more
'cause there's
interesting.
There's 3. We get 3 picks. So you get one, I get one, Josh gets one.
Okay.
That's fair.
Well, you guys pick yours first.
I've got to go with Scrooge.
We already know what you're gonna say.
Exactly. Yeah, I've got to go with Scrooged. Or oh wait, Christmas Vacation. Oh no, we put Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's on there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Scrooge for sure. Yeah,
Scrooge is good. That was my
Scrooge
honorable mentions list.
has to be in there. That's a great one.
That was a good pick.
Okay, Josh, what is your next pick?
You
Dang.
need to pick your Christmas gift.
your gift to us.
So it's a toss up right now between Little Women and Christmas with the Cranks. I don't know which one to go with. Let me just look back and see if there's
I
anything
won't say
else.
anything. I know which one I would pick, but I'm not gonna say
You're
anything.
filling your hand. You already exclaimed after you mentioned one of them.
Well, I wasn't paying attention. I missed your exclamation.
Oh, okay, good.
I was too deep in thought.
To be unbiased.
Oh man, I kind of want the out of the boxness of Little Women, but I feel like it'd be a crime not to say Christmas with the Cranks if I had the chance.
If you're just think about that, you're making a list of
Yeah,
25 that you have to watch.
This is a Christmas list.
There's a Christmas list,
That's
25 you have to
true.
watch every year,
Right.
and just pick the one that you have to have.
Like if you can't imagine a year without Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Don't let us take that.
Yeah, it's a good point. Christmas with the Cranks.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Good
All
pick,
right.
good pick.
Is that the one you exclaimed at?
No,
No,
I
or was it
prefer
Little
Little
Women?
Women. I like
Oh,
that movie
okay.
more, but
I do like that movie better as like a movie, but
right.
Christmas
I get it.
movie-
I get it. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes
Cranks,
sense.
Cranks
Actually,
is, Cranks is a better.
my wife and I just watched the Cranks last night, so it's a good
Oh, nice.
another one of her favorites. So I'm glad it's in there. All right, Carson, you're the last
Hang
one.
on, hang on.
Give us your
Before I
give us
say
your pick.
this, what do you guys star rankings on Santa Claus 3? Because if they're all low, then
I don't know.
It's probably.
At least 3, maybe lower. I don't know.
I think I have it at like 1.5.
Yeah,
maybe.
so-
I've only seen it once, but
let's do
the Lucy story is good in it.
Put it in there.
let's do Santa Claus 3. Let's do Santa Claus.
Okay.
The Escape Clause.
I'm shocked that this one got into that. Two, to me, 2 is actually a good movie, but
2 is good. I
Yeah.
think 2 is a great. Actually,
it's fine.
If
This
you
is
guys-
this is very fun. List.
Okay,
This is
okay.
very fun list.
all right,
This
all
is
right.
good.
Because I like 2 as well. 2 is very good.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Aside from Toy Santa, 2's a good movie.
25. All right, that's it. So we got 25. So now we just got to place them in order of how we would watch these. So let's take a look. So I guess there's two ways of looking at it in our list was like starting off with movies that aren't really Christmassy. It seems like kind of that's what we did
Right.
pretty much for all of our lists. Unless I liked Carson, you kind of mentioned that you kind of did some Christmassy ones and then kind of took a break in the middle.
Right.
Which I think is another kind of interesting way to do it. But what do you guys think? So let me read these off, and I don't know if you guys want to write them down or what, so you have them in front of you. But first of all, we had "It's a Wonderful Life," which again for me that one I think we all had later in the schedule. Like we all feel like that's a very Christmas oriented film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me put that down.
Same thing with Nativity Story. Those are both movies that I think are relatively close to the actual holiday.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll put those down lower. And then we had the Santa Claus, the original, which
I had that towards the end. I don't remember.
I feel like that.
I think so.
Yeah,
too.
that makes sense.
Somewhere in like the last 5 kind of realm.
Right.
Sure. And then Anna and the Apocalypse, that's one that I feel like could be very early.
Sure. Same with Die Hard. Unless you want to use one of those to kind of break up the tradition.
Yeah, I don't know. I think starting with I kind of like actually starting with Die Hard in a way.
I wouldn't mind that.
Ooh.
That's kind of a cool way to start it.
It is kind of a cool way to start it. I like that. Now that you say that.
So maybe Die Hard first. White Christmas needs to go lower, I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe bring The Green Knight up a little bit.
Yes, definitely need to bring The Green Knight up. Ooh, what if we start with The Green Knight? That could be interesting. Starting with because again, like the way my mind works a lot of times is like chronologies. So like if we're going in timeline order, that's like a fantasy takes place a long time ago.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So
it's definitely
And it has that like out of the box Christmas.
Yeah.
right.
Kind of.
It's definitely The Green Knight alludes to Christmas as to being this kind of like ethereal thing that's coming. That's not,
Right.
So I wouldn't mind that being early.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea.
Okay. What do you guys think about Klaus? Where does that need to go?
I think I had it in the middle.
Yeah, I think it's a middle movie too.
Okay. Because that's another one where I kind of almost feel like it could be earlier because it's kind of the origins of Christmas. Like,
yeah, it kind of. I understand that.
It's not really
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's very Christmassy, but it's kind of like here's how it all started. Like, so that could be a fun one to go really early too. I feel like, but we could bump it later.
That's
That
not a bad idea.
That could actually almost go after The Green Knight because it is kind of
Sure.
they both kind of have that similar, like, kind of not Christmas but kind of Christmas kind of
right.
Totally. Yeah, and they take place like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
And I also like the idea of having Klaus being earlier, mirroring the Santa Claus being later.
Yeah,
those are
here's like the legend.
That's how it started.
Continues.
This is how it is now. Kind of.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Okay, how about Jingle All the Way?
This is almost a Black Friday movie.
Yeah, to me, I feel like this could actually go right after Die Hard almost. Like it's kind of an action-y type film.
I would put it after Anna.
After Anna and the Apocalypse.
Because it is the whole movie's on Christmas Eve.
True. That's true. That's a good point. It's very like Christmas oriented. How about Elf?
I had that towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's later too.
Yep. I feel the same way. How about Home Alone? See, Home Alone is like PG Die Hard to me, so I kind of like the double feature idea of like doing those back to back almost. But
yeah,
we could bump it later if you guys don't like it earlier. I guess we should.
I don't mind it being earlier.
Like Narnia. Narnia needs to be, I feel like, up there with Klaus and Green Knight. Like kind of. Again, I know you like it later.
It is very similar to those movies,
right.
But I think we should have it later just because you don't want all of your fantasy movies
That's
on
true.
the beginning or all of them.
Mix it up a little bit.
So
Mix it up.
I put it mid to late end.
Okay.
Is around where I would put it.
How about Batman Returns? See, this is another one that's like just kind of Christmas setting.
Right.
Maybe that could go around Die Hard era.
Sure.
Kind of like up earlier.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Now, Miracle on 34th. So this is an interesting one. This was the one that I told you guys we do on Thanksgiving.
Right. This is the Macy's parade.
So, but I'm fine with putting it later because it kind of goes through Thanksgiving all the way through Christmas. The whole story.
Right.
Takes place over the course of like that whole month. So do you guys prefer that one to be later, middle? Any thoughts on that?
I think it's okay, kind of. After Home Alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Grinch?
Yeah, I was gonna say early to mid.
Right.
How about Grinch? Is that a later one for you guys, or you feel like it could go anywhere?
I think it could go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, how about Holdovers? Isn't that an earlier one for you guys, or no? Is that like all?
Yeah, Holdovers is like a winter break movie.
Okay.
So ooh, I like that.
Like right after Anna and the Apocalypse, or do you feel like it should be later?
It's the best movie to watch before you go to your Christmas party.
How early do your Christmas party start?
Yeah, I don't know. It's also as a drama. It's kind of like a serious, dramatic movie.
I don't think it would go well vibe wise following Anna and the Apocalypse.
Okay.
Like it's just so drastically different. Put something else in between.
Yeah, we need a buffer there. How about Home Alone?
What about The Family Man? Because that's kind of a more dramatic, serious movie.
But it has comedy elements to it. So if we did that after Anna and the Apocalypse,
I like that.
To kind of ground things
Sure,
again.
and then the Holdovers.
And then Holdovers after Family Man.
Right.
Or should Holdovers go before Family Man? Because it's the 70s.
You don't want it right after Anna and the Apocalypse.
Okay.
You gotta have something in between.
Do you feel like we should do
another
Jingle All the Way after Anna and the Apocalypse?
I would actually put Home Alone right after Anna and the Apocalypse. That's where I would put it. Because then you go from the just wild, wacky, crazy to the kind of cartoonish violence, but still a dramatic story going on in Home Alone. That's kind of a good.
And it feels more Christmassy, maybe.
Right.
Then Family Man, Holdovers, Jingle All the Way, Miracle on 34th, and then Grinch, and then Polar Express.
I would do Miracle, then Jingle, then.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Holdovers goes better into Miracle. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I feel like after Miracle, yeah, I guess Jingle All the Way could work as a kind of like
commercial,
getting sillier, getting a little more comedic.
Right.
Grinch after that.
What are we gonna do with Gremlins?
Oh, Gremlins has to go up higher, right?
Yeah, Gremlins belongs kind of.
Should it go right before Anna and the Apocalypse?
Yeah, where Batman Returns kind of is.
Should it go between these? Like that?
Yeah, that's fine.
That way we have the buffer of
Die Hard, Gremlins.
We've got like a dark trilogy here, like Gremlins, Batman, and Anna and the Apocalypse.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
How about Muppets? Where are we feeling that should go? See, Christmas Story Christmas as well. See, Christmas Story Christmas.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Would be a good Holdovers kind of double feature.
For sure.
Both kind of 70s.
Yeah.
Very grounded.
Okay.
I feel like Polar Express should be after Christmas Carol. Because Polar Express is basically a retelling of the Christmas Carol.
Polar Express?
Yeah.
Is it?
Kinda.
Is it?
Kinda.
I don't know.
Because you have the hobo, who's the Ghost of Christmas Past. You have So thematically, all of Tom Hanks' characters act as parts of the Scrooge story. Yeah. Except Scrooge is a little boy.
Never caught that.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Very, very, very.
That's interesting.
And symbolic.
Okay, cool. So we want to go.
So Grinch, Christmas Carol, Or
Yeah, Grinch, A Muppet Christmas
Muppets,
Carol,
Right.
and then Polar Express.
or Polar Express.
And
Okay.
then Nutcracker. See, Nutcracker is interesting because I feel like
Mm.
Nutcracker could also go. I kind of like that going with Miracle on 34th, almost like you're going from a super grounded thing into a more
Stepping into fantasy.
Or would you rather? I guess we could do fantasy down here, like Polar Express is getting into the fantasy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So
Polar Express, Nutcracker,
Nutcracker.
Narnia.
Yeah, I like that
Narnia.
feel better.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh yeah, Narnia. Ooh, Narnia would go good right around the
yeah,
Nutcracker.
I think so.
How about what if we did? I actually prefer Polar Express later. Here's
Okay.
why. Polar Express, I feel like leads better into Scrooged.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't think that sentence has ever been uttered before.
But you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like Muppets. Like you have a Muppet kind of like silly Muppet thing.
Right.
And then you go into Nutcracker, like much more fantastical.
Sure.
Same with Narnia, kind of like that. That's almost like a double feature.
Right.
Then Polar Express continues the fantasy, but it's a little more grounded. And then Scrooged is like you're getting more grounded. It's like live action,
Sure,
but it still has the fantasy elements.
Still crazy.
To it.
Yeah. Okay, I see that. And actually, I don't mind Christmas with the Cranks being after that because that's kind of it's a grounded comedy.
I feel like that
trajectory,
trajectory continues, like less fantasy elements as we go, and then White Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like White Christmas could go there, or it'd be kind of fun to go from Christmas with the Cranks into Santa Claus because you got double feature Tim Allen.
Oh, that's a great.
Oh, true.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Let's do a triple feature. Santa Claus 3.
Triple feature. Santa Claus. So Christmas with the Cranks is now basically taking the place of Santa Claus 2.
Exactly.
All right. So then we have Christmas with the Cranks. Right. And then the Santa Claus movie. There's like a Tim Allen trilogy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should have.
I like that.
I think we should have Christmas with the Cranks break up the two Santa Claus.
So Santa
movies.
Claus 1, Christmas with the Cranks, then Santa Claus 3. Okay, cool.
Santa Claus
That's
3.
That's good.
Yeah.
The Escape Clause. Yeah, don't forget that important subtitle. Which the second one doesn't have, which always annoyed me.
Yeah.
Like, just call it the Mrs. Claus. Like that's
Oh yeah.
They should say that in the movie.
I know. That's what it is. That's the movie's about, is the Mrs. Claus. So anyways, okay, so Santa Claus, Christmas with the Cranks, Santa Claus 3. Now we have our last 4.
Yep.
White Christmas, Elf, It's a Wonderful Life, and the Nativity Story. So
I actually kind of just like that order.
What'd you say? What order?
I wouldn't mind having Elf first, but
yeah, same.
Yeah,
it's at least
White Christmas.
The other 3 are more serious.
The classic too. It's like all the classics together, like the older classics.
Is Nativity Story a Christmas Eve or Christmas morning movie?
It's either one for me. I mean, I could go either way. Like this year, Sunday is Christmas Eve, so we're gonna have our Christmas Eve service at church, and then we're probably gonna come home and watch Nativity Story. But
that's usually what I associate it with.
What do you think, Josh? Do you have a preference?
I don't. Which where do you guys put it on? Did you put it on Christmas Day and Carson put it on Christmas Eve, or was it the other way around?
I think I did.
Yeah, I lean towards Eve. Yeah, just because I think It's a Wonderful Life is such a great Christmas morning,
kind of
like just great. Like, it's all around great movie. And then Nativity Story is you're getting really focused on the real point of Christmas,
and then you're leading into Christmas.
That's true. I like that.
Right.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll go Elf. It's our Elf, White Christmas, Nativity Story, It's a Wonderful Life.
Sweet.
Yeah, sound good? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we got our full list. Okay, so
here it is.
Here it is, folks. The official Real World Christmas movie marathon list. It's already a couple days into December, but that's all right. You can do some double features, double up a couple days, and you can get through all these before Christmas Day. So starting on December 1st, we have The Green Knight, which is right here.
Yep.
So check out The Green Knight. And then we would go into Klaus, which is now streaming on Netflix. So if you don't have Netflix, you unfortunately wouldn't be able to watch it. But get Netflix and watch it. It's worth it. Just the whole month, paying for the month just to see the one movie, honestly. It's great. Then we go into December 3rd with Die Hard. Here it is right here. Yep. Die Hard, the Bruce Willis, John McTiernan classic with Alan Rickman as one of the best villains in movie history. Then we go into December 4th with Gremlins. Pull out Gremlins for me. I've got the Gremlins double pack.
Oh, you do?
And I actually think you could watch both. The second one isn't set during Christmas, but The second one I might actually like even a little better, maybe.
It's very
the first
fun.
one, it's very silly and goofy and fun.
It's more like a Muppet movie.
Yeah, it's
very fun.
sillier.
Oh, really?
But it's also almost scarier in some ways. Too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's very scary.
It's very good. So yeah, Joe Dante directed both of those, and he did a great job. So check out Gremlins. Then on December, let's see, what is this? 5th, we have Batman Returns, Tim Burton's Christmas classic with Michael Keaton.
Yep.
To me, superior to the '89 movie. I know to some people that's sacrilege, but to me, it's a better movie. I like it better. It's crazier.
I like the story better too.
It does. I think so too. I agree. Then we have on the 6th, Anna and the Apocalypse. Now this one's harder to find streaming. I think there's a Blu-ray available. That's also kind of hard to get your hands on, but if you can find it, I think right now it's on Tubi streaming, so you'll have ads. But
it's not a good sign. But it's a great movie.
Great movie. It's
Probably
so
the best movie on that streaming service.
It is. It's great. It's great. So Anna and the Apocalypse is the 6th. Then on December 7th, pull it, Home Alone. Home Alone is now on Disney Plus. All the Home Alone movies are on Disney Plus. I think there's 6 of them or something now. So first one's the best to me. Just watch the first one. You can watch the others if you want, but the first one is the must-see film. So
the trilogy's good. The trilogy's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Then it starts to get like weird and
right.
Like, how many of these are we making?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Some of them were direct to TV, and then some of them were direct to streaming. So yeah, just make sure you watch at least the first one.
Did you see the newest one on Disney Plus?
I did. It was
Home Sweet Home Alone. Yeah.
There was like a couple parts that I thought would be like, oh, that'd be like just show the clip, and that's kind of all you need.
I think that the idea of Home Alone from the robber's point of view is actually a good idea.
Yeah.
But it wasn't executed well.
Yeah, they didn't fully execute that, unfortunately. But yeah, that should have been a shorter special. It would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's December 7th. December 8th, pull it out, The Family Man. The Family Man, one of Nick Cage's best performances.
High praise.
Tia Leone just does a great job with this. It's really, really fun. Definitely worth watching. So check that out on the 8th. That is December 8th, The Family Man. And then on December the 9th, we have The Holdovers. Now, this is in theaters. So if you want to go to the theater and see a Christmas movie with the family, go ahead, check it out. I have not had a chance to see it yet. Josh and Carson obviously are big fans. So
maybe not with young kids.
Sure. It's not a film for the whole family. It's like a film
about family. It's not a film for family.
For the older members of the family. All right, so that's December 9th. Then December 10th. On December 10th, another streaming film, only streaming on Max. It is A Christmas Story Christmas. It's even better than the original film, A Christmas Story. Definitely a big surprise. Again, Peter Billingsley is back. He's been a producer, by the way, on a lot of big movies like Iron Man. I don't know if you guys know that, but
really?
Yeah, he became a big producer in Hollywood and works with Jon Favreau on a lot of movies.
He's in Iron Man. He's the guy that Ironmonger yells at.
Yeah.
In that
Tony
one
Stark.
scene.
Oh, really?
Stark.
Yeah. The cave with a box of scraps scene.
Yeah.
The guy he's yelling at, that's him. Yeah, that's Ralphie from Christmas Story.
It's the kid.
I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So yeah.
And he's in Far From Home, Spider-Man.
He does come back in the bar scene with Mysterio.
Reprising his character from
he holds up a glass. Is like, Tony Stark, we hate that guy, you know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's interesting. He's a character in the MCU, which is pretty nuts.
That's cool. 2 appearances, which is very, very rare.
Right.
Yeah.
Recurring character.
Yep. All right, so that takes us through December 10th. Now December 11th, we're going with the classic. Pull it out. It is Miracle on 34th Street. Do you not have it there?
Oh, it's down here.
Oh, there it is. There it is. The original classic, Miracle on 34th Street. Again, I like the remake a lot too. I think it's a solid movie, but it doesn't get better than the original, the black and white. It's just so good. So check that one out on the 11th. Then on December the 12th, a childhood favorite of mine, Jingle All the Way. It's turbo time. You know, Arnold, I mean, he just does a great job in that movie. I have so much fun with it. For only time we've gotten Arnold as a superhero, by the way, which is kind of amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean,
that is shocking.
Action hero, he's kind of a superhero-ish, but he's not like this. So
yeah.
So that's a good one. Then on the 13th, we have Ron Howard's Dr. Seuss film, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Sorry, all the movies just fell over. Carson is a klutz. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is, again, Dr. Seuss just coming to life in live action like we've never seen before. Jim Carrey is phenomenal in this movie. I think he's
probably my favorite role of his.
It's so good. It's so good. It's great. Anyways, that had to be in there. Next up, on the 14th, it is The Muppet Christmas Carol. This is also streaming on Disney Plus. So check that out on Disney Plus. Definitely worth a watch. My personal favorite adaptation of the Charles Dickens tale. Then we have on December 15th, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. This one's also on Disney Plus. Just a beautiful looking movie. So well worth a watch. Very movie that's not talked about. That's kind of just, didn't really do anything at the box office, unfortunately. That I've, visited, I think for the past at least 3 years, we've been watching this. So it's one that we discovered after its initial release. It came out, I think, in 2018, but I
didn't watch it until I did a big Disney Plus Christmas binge.
Yes, exactly.
And watched a lot of terrible movies. Which is why I thought it was so amazing. I saw it.
The hidden gem he found amongst the rubbish. All right, so next up after that, also on Disney Plus, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the first Narnia film.
This, by the way, this is my favorite fantasy movie ever made.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite movies ever.
It's one of the best.
Mine too. It's a great movie. Which supposedly they're remaking or rebooting or something for Netflix.
We'll see.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. I don't know.
We're all gone.
Last I heard, actually, wasn't Greta Gerwig hired to do it?
I think she's writing.
Yeah, interesting. I'd be surprised if she didn't direct it too, because she's now a very in-demand director. But I guess time will tell. So that's December 16th. December 17th. Pull it out. It is The Polar Express.
Tom Hanks with Tom Hanks, featuring Tom Hanks, starring Tom Hanks.
And co-starring Tom Hanks. This is a great one. Robert Zemeckis, like we were talking about, his, the way he's pushed the technology forward.
Yeah.
I mean, without this, we don't get Avatar, right? It's like baby steps, but this is the first.
I guess if you can draw that line, I don't
know. So anyways, Polar Express is on there. Great music in that film. So that's on the 17th. And then on the 18th, we have one of my personal favorites from the great Richard Donner, starring Bill Murray. It's Scrooged, another take on the Christmas Carol tale, kind of a modernized version of that. Check that out. And then on the 19th, we have The Santa Claus. So the original Santa Claus with Tim Allen. These are also all on Disney Plus. Check those out right now. The Santa Clauses is also on Disney Plus, which I'm not a fan of. Honestly, I didn't think it was a great show.
Yeah, it's a TV show.
I started to try the second season and I couldn't do it. So, but the movies are good. The first one especially. The first one is still the best in my opinion. So, check that out on the 19th, and then we're jumping into the 20th. So December 20th, we would recommend watching Christmas with the Cranks, another Tim Allen film. Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Aykroyd, Emmett Walsh, a lot of great actors in that. Just a fun time. Again, we watched it last night, and it's just very enjoyable, very easy to watch. A lot of good jokes, good story. Another good, character arc for his character there, kind of learning about the true meaning of Christmas and, community and family and all that stuff. So good one to watch. And then to bookend the Tim Allen trilogy, we incled.
Here we go, baby. Here it is.
Carson's favorite.
The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. There he is. Look at him.
Martin Short as Jack Frost.
Wow.
It is a fun performance. It is. He's a fun guy, and I like him a lot. It's just, to me, the story just doesn't quite work. But again, it's fine. I would recommend watching all the Santa Claus movies, honestly. I think they're all worth watching.
2 is also very good.
Yeah, I prefer 2. I much prefer 2 to 3. But still not up to par with the first one, in my opinion. But anyways, that ends the Tim Allen trilogy on the 21st with Santa Claus 3, and then we're going into the 22nd with Elf. Will Ferrell, one of his best performances. This one features my favorite, I think my favorite movie, Santa Claus, which is Ed Asner. At least live action Santas. I think he just captures the spirit of the character so well.
He's pretty good.
He's kind of a little gruff almost, but very sweet and just like has the perfect look about him.
Sure.
And like, I don't know, just his voice, everything about his performance in that movie is so good. His facial expressions and just his regalia and the whole thing. And James Caan, of course, the late James Caan, who just passed away last year, I think it was, gave one of his best performances in this movie too. Mary Steenburgen, Jon Favreau directs it. It's just great. So definitely had to include Elf. And then on the 23rd, we have another classic, White Christmas. This one is streaming now on Netflix, so you can watch this on Netflix right now. Yeah, definitely a classic. I mean, one that stood the test of time. That Bing Crosby, we've got his Christmas album, so we're listening to that in the car, and then watching the movie is just kind of like the complete experience. And Rosemary Clooney and all the actors and actresses in that do a great job. It's got a great story of military kind of family, and it's really just very impactful, especially the ending is just like really gets to you. But it's got so many great, again, song and dance numbers, really well shot, very colorful, and so that's a must watch on the Christmas season. And then
probably underrated too.
It kind of is. I agree. It doesn't get talked about a whole lot. Yeah, you're right, Josh.
It's not praised nearly as much as Elf is praised.
That's true. Which is
true.
It's praised more than Santa Claus 3: The Escape Plan.
For sure. Yeah. Deservedly so. All right, folks. Then we're at Christmas Eve, December 24th, The Nativity Story. This movie, again, like we talked about earlier, it's one of my favorites. It's one that we have to watch every year. Because again, it's what Christmas is all about. It's the meaning of the season. It's why we celebrate. It's well made. It's well shot, beautifully, photographed. Catherine Hardwicke directed this, did a great job with it. I think it's her best work. Oscar Isaac does a great job in it. So many great actors and actresses there that all just pull off the roles really convincingly. And it's a kind of a harrowing tale of like they have to make this arduous journey, and it really covers that very well.
And it's really focused on their human experience and it's very good. Very grounded.
Yeah, it makes the Bible come to life in a way that's meaningful, and it's not kind of like adding to the story, taking away from the story, or kind of twisting the story. It's just like very straightforward adaptation, which I appreciate.
Reverently done.
Yeah, for sure. So
it's probably the best adaptation of like the Christmas, the nativity story that I've seen.
Agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. One of the best adaptations of any Bible narrative that we've had. I
think it's right up there with Ten Commandments.
Yeah, it's very well done. So that's Christmas Eve. Enjoy that with the family, and then on Christmas, it's got to be It's a Wonderful Life. One of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
Frank Capra as a director just was at the height of his powers here. Jimmy Stewart coming back from World War II, and that kind of experience really playing into his performance in a really effective way. And it's just so well done. Every actor, Lionel Barrymore's in this. It's so good.
There's an episode of Batman the Animated Series where Robin suggests that they watch It's a Wonderful Life.
Right.
And he says, "It's great, Batman, you'll love it. It's all about how one man can make a difference in a city." And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to watch it. I can't get past the title. So, I always think of that when we watch this movie.
Yeah, it's a great one. We should have done, animated series episodes. There's a Justice League episode.
There is, Comfort and Joy.
That's another podcast for another day. So that's it, folks. That is our Christmas movie marathon list. I will leave a link in the description below so you can have the full list. There'll also be links to our social media accounts. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow Josh on Letterboxd, and I'm on Letterboxd. Carson's on Letterboxd. All those links will be down there too. Leave us your list. We want to know what you guys watch during Christmas, during the holiday season. Let us know what you guys put on for the family to watch. Thanks again for joining me, Josh. It was a fun episode.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was really fun. And if there's anything we forgot too, definitely leave a comment for that. We could have easily overlooked.
Totally. We're always looking for new Christmas movies to watch.
There's a lot out there. Yeah, there's so many over the years that have been made. So I'm sure we definitely missed a few. Thank you again for joining us. And we will see you next time right here on The Real World.